A desert planet with twin suns.
Why do I sense we've picked up another pathetic life form?
Use my knowledge. Much to learn. You still have.
Welcome back to Twin Sun Talks, folks. I'm your host, Jonah Liu. Thank you so much for listening, and glad to have you tuning into this week's episode. It's going to be a pretty quick one. I don't know how much I'm going to say, but this is something that I've wanted to talk about for a while, and it's the Phineas and Ferb Star Wars crossover. I just want to talk about it and why I love it so much. So without further ado, let's dive into I Have Spoken.
I have spoken.
So today's just going to be a quick episode about why I love the Phineas and Ferb Star Wars crossover so much, because I think it's really, really well done and really fantastic. The opening crawl is a great way to start. And just, I think that it adds just the perfect flavor of humor to kind of contextualize us within the Phineas and Ferb mythos while also weaving it into Star Wars. And I love that none of this is canon disclaimer at the beginning, just the sort of like preemptive counter to any arguments that the nerds might make about Disney recanonizing stuff. And I will say the story integration is fantastic. Buford firing the shot that prompts 3PO to get into the escape pod, Perry the Platypus helping R2 to Kenobi and being the reason that he's not in the Lars homestead anymore. And also, I would like to point out that this, and until Rogue One came out, this was basically the plot of Rogue One. This was about a rebel stealing the Death Star plans and getting them to Yavin. And I just think that that's hilarious. And I mean, hey, it's a great argument. Who did it better, Rogue One or the Phineas and Ferb Star Wars special? But the music in this episode is amazing. I'd say, well, first of all, I think it's important to acknowledge that we get a visual representation of Womp Rats. I'm not sure that we get that in any other media other than comics. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that that might be the case. And, I mean, just the writing in this episode is fantastic. Like, I mean, all the songs are top-notch. The Here on Tatooine song, the In the Empire song, the Sithinator song is probably my favorite. The line, he'll not say, I'm blown away, much like Alderaan. I mean, you can't get much better than that. And that being said, Doof being the Death Star's designer is absolutely incredible, with all due respect to Galen Erso. And the fact that the exhaust port is essentially like a self-destruct button is just perfect. And obviously the Alderaan timeshare line makes me laugh, where he's like, oh, my timeshare on Alderaan is doing so well. I knew it would appreciate in value. And then it blows up in the background. It's like, the value's dropping to 0. It's just fantastic. And just stuff like the Centennial Chihuahua, Candace as an underappreciated stormtrooper, and her dumb interactions with Buford and Baljeet are really funny. So is the mission to get Darth Vader's socks. The store that they get him from is called Tall, Darth, and Handsome, and the whole I find your lack of socks disturbing. I don't really know what I'm saying, but I really wanted to talk about this. And I'm moving into my new, or not new, I'm moving back into my apartment in College Station, getting ready to start school again. So I just wanted to do something fun and quick. I also really loved the detail about them saving all of the regular workers on the Death Star, like all the, here's what they say, the bowling alley attendants and custodian workers. It's very wholesome, and I do enjoy it. There's also a pretty solid lightsaber fight in there. I mean, like the one between Ferb and Phineas, it's pretty good, not gonna lie. And I don't know. I just think the whole thing's really, really fantastic, and I would appreciate y'all watching it and sharing your thoughts if you haven't watched it before. Honestly, I'm trying to think of more stuff to say. I don't really have too much. Like I said, I was trying to make this episode short and just a little appreciation piece for this amazing piece of Star Wars content, canon or not. And would highly recommend watching it if you haven't already. Phineas and Ferb is a great show, and this is just a great addition to it. I could also talk about Family Guy down the line, because that's also, the Family Guy Star Wars is pretty fantastic too, in a completely different way. It's a little hard to do like the reviews of these, because I did watch this a long, long time ago. But but I'll figure it out. This was a pretty dinky episode, but I wanted to get something out to y'all, even though my life is pretty busy at the moment. That being said, that's about all that I have, but this wouldn't be a proper episode if I didn't leave you with just a little bit more. So during the scene where Phineas and Ferb are looking at a hologram of the Death Star plans with Watto, there is an arborish text bubble, or there are 3 of them actually. And in order, they read, "You got a joke that no one else did. If you paused this and translated it into English, congratulations. Now go impress your friends." And so those last 2 are 2 separate ones. I think it's a pretty fun detail. It's pretty dumb and I mean, but I think that it's cool that they put that sort of stuff in there. And Arabish is the alphabet used in the Star Wars galaxy, if you don't know. But that being said, that's about all that I have for this episode. I've been a bit quiet on Instagram posting recently just because my life has been pretty hectic, but I should start pumping out more content soon, so make sure to look out for that. I'll be posting it both on Instagram and on YouTube. That being said, follow us on Instagram at Twin Sun Talks. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Twin Sun Talks Podcast. And follow and listen wherever you get your podcast by searching Twin Sun Talks. But yeah, that's about all that I have for this episode. I'm back in College Station, back in my normal studio, as it were. And can't wait to keep pumping out great content for y'all. So that being said, you've taken your first steps into a larger world. May the force be with you, and I will see y'all in the next episode. Bye, friends.